Top of the evening, creeps. I'm Gasper, your friendly host, and this is Deeply Creeply, where I take a closer look at serial killers, unsolved cases, and the unknown. Tonight, we will be creeping in on a prolific serial murderer by the name of David Berkowitz, or better known as the Son of Sam. So grab your 44 bulldogs, and grab your bongs, and let's creep on. Before we start, I always like to have a bowl, so if you'd like to join me, let's rock it. The Son of Sam, or SOS for short, had a somewhat troubled childhood, meaning SOS had an above-average intelligence, but had no interest in learning and had an unhealthy infatuation with pyromania and petty larceny, told by his adoptive parents. SOS wasn't always crazy. He was an honorably discharged soldier, serving in the US and South Korea. But the moment SOS goes bonkers is when he finds out about his illegitimate birth, where he got given up, and his adoption to his now adoptive parents. Forensic anthropologist Elliot Layton described it as the primary crisis of his life, shattering his psyche, his sense of self and identity. SOS's crimes begun shortly after this emotional psychological breakdown. During the mid-70s, working as a letter sorter for the Postal Service, his first try at murder was a failure, but he did get somewhere. Maybe he was nervous, not knowing what he could do with a knife? I don't know. He still confesses to stabbing 2 women that night on December 24th, 1975. One alleged victim was never identified though, but the other was Michelle Foreman. Not dying, but injured enough to be put in the hospital. I guess you could say he let her have it. Unfortunately, not many pictures are available for these crimes, so I apologize. I hope I can just paint a nice picture for you, and I'll find what I can and put them up. After the mishap with Michelle, SOS got himself a .44 Bulldog revolver. I guess the hunting knife wasn't working for him. The revolver was a better choice, I guess, for the murders. Speaking of dogs though, SOS confesses that his neighbor, Sam's dog, Harvey, harbored an ancient demon that told him to kill. Probably when Harvey asked him over for some pet flicks and chew. Huh? Anyways, moving forward, SOS was known to be kind of a misogynist, as some people said, I guess, so he preferred female victims. Case in point, Donna Lauria and Jody Valenti. At 1:10 a.m. on July 29, 1976, these victims were parked, supposedly discussing their night at the local discotheque. Lauria made the mistake of getting out of the car to leave. That's when she had seen a shadowy figure approaching, and quickly. SOS, with a military background, crouched, produced his pistol, laid his elbow on his knee, getting that correct posture, aiming center mass with both hands, fired. First shot, Lauria is hit and killed instantly. The second shot was fired, hitting Valenti in the thigh, third shot missing both. Then SOS walks away quickly. He wasn't indicted. Instead, mob activity was present in the area, and in Lauria's life, so the NYPD attributed to mob activity, not really having any suspects. And of the Son of Sam, which was about a year, there was a total of 7 shootings. We're going to take a look at a couple of those shootings. There is a theory that I'd like to get to, and I don't want to make this video too long. Hear your thoughts, or read your thoughts in the fucking comments. So by now, we'll continue. SOS has killed 1 person, Christine Fround, shot twice after she went to go The other shooting and eventual kill would be Virginia Voskerichian. On March 8, 1977, around 7:30 p.m., a young Virginia was walking home from school. That's when she encountered an armed man. All she had in her hands were her books, so she raised them to block the path of the bullet. But to no avail, the bullet went straight through and hit her in the head. As they say, don't bring a book to a gunfight, maybe to a fist fight. The bullet did go clean through, killing her instantly, and this is where part of the theory takes place during this murder, because a resident of the neighborhood was rounding the corner where the gunshots were, and he nearly collided with a youth, 16 to 18-year-old, clean-shaven, short, husky build, with a ball cap and a hood. Sprinting away from the scene, he heard the boy say under his breath, "Oh Jesus," and ran faster. It's pretty suspicious, but the weird part is that there was a witness who spotted a man matching SOS's description loitering in a different area but nearby the scene. They're conflicting because SOS is in his mid-20s. He's about 160 to 170 pounds, 5'9", 5'10". So as you can see, it's kind of the conflicting. One is a 16, 18-year-old fat boy, and one is a tallish mid-20s, kinda. So both labeled suspect in this crime. After this attack, SOS got his groove back, killing 2 young adults, Alexander Esau and Valenti Siriani, at 3 a.m. April 17th, 1977. Sad day, sad night. At this time, all suspicion towards the chubby boy was now just witness status. All suspicion towards suspect now rested on SOS. Smooth move, fatty. This crime gave birth to the first letter from SOS, and also the first time he coins the name Son of Sam. This was called the Son of Sam letter. Very imaginative, I know. Next would be the Breslin letter. This letter hinted at a future murder on the anniversary of his first murder. But just like Chubby Bubby Fat Kid earlier, this letter ties in with the theory of there being multiple killers. Not just there, I said it. Only because this letter was sophisticated in his wording and his presentation, as you can see. The letter before, the Son of Sam letter, spelling mistakes, very bad handwriting, looks like he wrote with his foot. I know it's far-fetched. I think so as well. So let's creep on and see what else we got. Son of Sam would go on to shoot 4 more victims: Sal Lupo, Judy Placido, Stacy Moskowitz, and Robert Violanti, resulting in 3 injured and 1 dead, being Stacy. The latter pair, Robert Violanti and Stacy Moskowitz, shooting yielded the most witnesses and also the first sighting of the yellow Volkswagen, or the yellow car, because it ends up not being a Volkswagen. I neglected to mention that earlier though, that there was a yellow Volkswagen spotted earlier as well. So I don't know, maybe he was driving a Volkswagen first and then switched it to a different vehicle that I will tell you soon right now. Actually, after a long extensive search after that killing, SOS's car was found, and it was a yellow Ford Galaxy, looking nothing like a Beetle. So whether it was confusion or whether it was just him owning a Beetle first and then a Ford Galaxy, I don't know why you would pick another yellow car, but I don't know. But that's what's been reported. Other than that, the Ford Galaxy had a rifle in the back seat, so it gave the police enough to search it. It gave them enough to search it. So they didn't need a warrant at that time since the rifle was in plain view. But they still wanted a warrant so that nothing would go wrong. They would have everything in order, have all their paperwork, so nobody would get sued and they could get this guy. They got the warrant and they waited. They waited for SOS until he got to the car. An officer pulled up to the driver's side window of the excuse me, I'm sorry. Oh my god. That was not supposed to happen. That was a mistake. I apologize. No coughing in this dojo. So, officer pulls a weapon on SOS's driver's side, tells him to step out. Another officer on the passenger side with a weapon pointed at him as well, so no funny business is gonna go on here. The Oinks end up uncovering the 44 Bulldog in a paper bag on the passenger side with maps of the crime scenes and another threatening letter to a higher up official in the cops or NYPD. So, ending his killing spree. Finally, we get to the end. Theory time to list everything about this dude and what's happening and what's going on and stuff like that. Finally, to feed the skeptics and the theorists, Son of Sam has alluded that Harvey, the dog, made him kill. But he has also been quoted on saying that there are other sons out there. God help the world. Interpreted by many as an admission of criminal accomplices. More specifically, Satanists. Later he retracts this demonic possession story though, from Harvey. Just a silly story to hide the true reason for his killings. Anger towards his lack of success with women. And towards a world that rejected him. Son of Sam states that he did have accomplices. Satanists called the 22 Disciples of Hell in his Breslin letter. That they were present for all the murders and actually shot most of the victims, that he was only the one, or he only pulled the trigger on Lauria and the last two victims, Stacy Moskowitz and Robert Valenti. Not many people believe him because he has been crazy for a long time, or he's just been acting. Nobody knows, nobody can really trust him. But other than that, let's continue. With these claims and other doubts, many believe in the many shooter theory, so the case has been reopened and is still open, rather suspended and unclosed. Breslin, Dr. Harvey Schlossberg, and an FBI profiler all had one-on-one time with Sam, and all unanimously agree that SOS acted alone and the cult is just a fantasy made to absolve his guilt, because he is now referred to as Son of Hope, because he has found Christianity, and maybe Satanists made him do it. So, the Son of Sam. That's the Son of Sam. What do you think? Was there multiple people involved? Was the dog the master this time? Or was he just mad that his milkshake brings nobody to his yard? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this high. If you did, and you want more, you crave it, click the subscribe button. You will be satisfied, I'm sure. Well, creeps, I'm gonna make like a Satanist and expellus Bobius Hillis. See you in hell.